Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Jennifer Roberts. This is True Divine. I'm reading for Libra for January 2020 and it's an amazing reading, Libra. I've already got the cards on the board, and you don't get this kind of reading without having done so much inner work and outer work, but mainly inner work. You have come into a point of perfect satisfaction with self, which is an amazing thing. It can't be underestimated. You are at a point in your life where you have such clarity about where you are, where you want to be, where you're going to go, and how you're going to do it. Yet you're not fixed. You're so in balance that you're able to maintain that clarity and focus without being fixed. You're able to maintain a flow within, to be able to bring about what is good for you, to be able to allow what is good for you to come to you, to be able to let things that aren't so good for you flow through you and not stick with you. This is a truly ascended reading. This is a masterclass for where we all need to be. So as well as all of that being said, you have this magnetism. When we're in such balance within, we can't help but exude this magnetism, but you're coupling that with this sensuality, this sexuality, but it's in balance. You're not lustful, you're not too passionate about one thing and not passionate about the other. You're just embodying your sign, the balanced scales. So you have come into complete alignment. The sun is shining on everything you do. You can see the good, the bad, the ugly, the awesome, the brilliant, the inspirational. You can just see it all. You know when to pick your fruit and when not to pick your fruit. You know when to let things just be nurtured, let things grow, and you also know when to jump on things and take them for what they're worth, to get the most out of every situation. Just like the scales, you have absolutely learned and have the knowledge that the day and the night are in equal balance and equal importance, that you can get just as much from the night as you can the day, and vice versa. I.e., even when other people are, let's say, sleeping in the dark, you can see right through that darkness. You can see things that are fortuitous for you in that darkness. You also see, yes, the beauty of the sun, the beauty of the what you show to others, the outer self, but you also know that there's nothing to be afraid about going into the dark inner grounds, where you can face whatever you need to face, for good or for bad, and ultimately transmute both for good, whether that's lessons to learn along the way, things to do in a different way, or whether it's to harvest something that you've allowed to grow. You also have a knowledge of the dark womb unmanifest, to know that it's okay to go within, feel your way through, and absolutely give time and space for self to play with your inner grounds, to be comfortable in your inner grounds where it can be dark. You've created this flow in yourself where you've experienced maybe real kundalini awakening, real kundalini manifestation. Maybe I don't see this as being too much about anyone else but you. So I'm not going to say, sexual magic. I'm just going to say that you have learned how to create that spark, that kundalini manifestational spark within on your very own. And you know how to get it going fast. You know how to really feel your way through the process and get it lighting up fast. All of those ideas coming in, all of that pleasant feeling coming in, all of that tingling coming in. You are so magnetized. You are a magnet for all that is good for you. Yet there's no worry of, because when we have such magnetism, you can attract everything, for good or for bad. But you have this discernment, so again, you're balanced. You're coming in with this authoritative air where you know when to put your boundaries up, when to say, no, it's not for me, thanks. And you know what to let in. You have real discernment coupled with that passion and that magnetism. You don't get to here without having been through the mill. You don't get to this kind of reading without being hurt, without being wounded, without having to learn to transmute those wounds and not let them decay within self. So you do have this knowledge of where you've been, but you don't live in victimhood. You've got this victorious label, this warrior-like label about you. And where sometimes when we've been through so much like this, particularly I'm seeing lessons from narcissistic relationships, severe narcissistic relationships, physical abuse, mental abuse, gaslighting. If this resonates with you, if this reading resonates with you, that's what I'm seeing for you. You, just like going back to the dark, knowing that there's good in the dark as well as the sun. You have learned that actually during that process, although it was probably one of the most painful processes of your life and a long drawn out process within your life, you actually have used that now for the greatest amount of growth and expansion and knowledge in your life. So it's actually just been flipped around. You've flipped the script. Instead of coming out of that kind of abuse as a victim with that label, you've absolutely got this warrior badge, this stance of, I know I can handle anything. The worst times in my life have actually paid off to be the best experiences I could have ever wished for. Because as well as that, you haven't created, usually when we've been through this kind of relationship, we can become too cut off, we can become too withdrawn and abrasive. But you again come in with this balance, this perfect balance, and with that discernment, with that ability to cut out what you don't need anymore, you have this nurturing capacity, this mothering capacity, this compassionate, divine feminine energy that is supportive to self and others who you see fit to give it to. You have an understanding of your scales and a flow within those two scales. The final result for this reading, Libra, and I think this might be shorter than most of the readings, because what can I say to you that you don't already know? But the final result is there is huge possibilities of a new home or new land, new dwellings that you're super excited and super passionate about. Huge possibilities of new relations, a new group of people. Because of this magnetism, you're drawing in people who are like-minded, who can debate with you, who can really spark with you. You can spar with each other in a good way. You are just seeing things, you're out of your box now. You're seeing things from a different perspective, from your perspective. You're seeing things even that don't fit your narrative, and you're able to flip the script for your greatest good. And you're doing it with such discernment. Anybody that is around you and enjoying your company are very lucky people and will be very blessed to be in your company. There's so many choices, there's so many opportunities, but you still know when to just sit back and let it flow and see what sticks, see what doesn't, which is such a beautiful, calm, but passionate, discerning energy. You've got just this mix between your two scales, flowing to and fro from each other. So I'm just going to give you maybe a couple of clarifying cards, just to set you on your way. But I just want to say while I'm shuffling, Libra, this is true alignment. This is true knowledge of self. Excuse me. This is knowing how to just be in the moment, knowing how to be present, knowing when to take time for self. You're just in complete, harmonious balance. And I'm so happy that my mum has a lot of Libra in her chart, because this speaks very much of the journey that she's been on for the last 3-4 years. So this is a huge change. There's literally been a death to the old self. You've been through a death and a rebirth process, and you've come out with this beautiful, ascended, grown, whole, new persona, new person, and you're ready to go on your next part of your journey, which is going to include a lot of good news, a lot of busyness, a lot of opportunities, things being attracted to you. You just keep this balance, Libra, keep this discernment, because everything is going to fall into place for as long as you keep these scales in balance, keep things in perspective the way you have been doing so. You are truly, truly an expansive, awesome soul. So if you would like a personal reading, not if this reading resonated with you, I don't think you'll need one. But if you would like a personal reading, if you have anything else you would like to drill into, all of my details will be in the drop box below. We do have a website. I will be getting out on social platforms more. I've been putting that off. I'm just sending you much love, a salute, and be whole, continue to be balanced, Libra.